Hey pool players, this is your boy Rico back with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you how to put on a tip by yourself. These are just a few items that you're going to need. You're going to need the sander, something to cut with, the glue, you're going to need a file, you're going to need the tips of course, and this is a shaper. I'm going to show you how that works. Some sandpaper and some tape. And this is optional. That's some accelerant, and this is optional as well. Something to rough it up a little bit, and then some razor blades. Okay. Okay. Like I say, you're gonna start with your cutter. You're gonna cut off the old tip. Now, when you're cutting the old tip, make sure you don't cut into the ferrule. You're cutting just the tip off, and not cutting into the ferrule, because especially if you have a carbon fiber shaft. I'm using one of my old shafts here, one of my old wood shafts. I don't play with wood shafts anymore. I play with 100% carbon fiber, and I love it. So yeah, you cut off the old tip, and you're gonna have some residue on it, and that's when the sander comes in. Now you can pick up the sander at one of your online billiard supply store like Pool Dog, Seaberts, stores like that. They should have the sander that you can get. This just gets rid of the excess um, material from the old tip. And you just put it on, you just sand it until all the material comes off. Do it a few times, rotations, you check it. So then once you do that, you take your tips. Uh, this is just a little pro tip, the hard tip that I happen to have. I've had that for many years. And then once you take your tip, you want to sand that a little bit, scuff it a little bit. Make sure you put it on a flat surface when you're sanding it. So the sander has a flat surface on the back of it. So I'm sanding. I'm just using a circular motion to get rid of the to scuff it up a little bit. And then once you get down to sanding it the way you like it, what I also like to do is I like to because for me to ensure that the tip doesn't pop off. You'll see this coming up. I like to take the razor blade and make a few indentations in either in the you could do it either in the on the tip, or you could do it on the ferrule itself. Either way, I believe on this one I did it on the tip. So also what you want to do is you want to use the tape to cover up the ferrule so that you don't get any glue on it, or minimize the glue on the ferrule. Otherwise, you'll have to clean that off once you go to the trimming process. So here I'm taking my new razor blade. You want to get a new razor blade each time. Make sure it's sharp. Now, I want to caution you. I'm that indentation I'm doing on the tip. Make sure you put it flat down. I was holding it up and as a result, I end up cutting my hand. So make sure you want to have it on a have it like on the table or something. That's where I should have had it, and I end up cutting my hand. So all right, then you want to take your accelerant, which you don't have to have, but if you happen to have some, it's good to have because it dries real fast. Um, you add your glue onto your tip. You just need a little bit. You don't need a lot. And then with the accelerant, basically you just have one shot to get it centered. So if you don't get it and that thing gets stuck, you're gonna have to kind of do the process all over again. So I think I got it pretty set. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's as centered as you can. And one of the things I like to do is I like to use the rubber bands as a clamp once I get the tip centered. So as you see here, I'm taking the rubber band. I use 3 on it. These are real small or thin rubber bands. So I ended up using 3 of them. So you just take it and use it as a clamp. Now, I think I let this set for about an hour. Um, and I could have done it sooner as far as removing the rubber bands and taking and trimming it process, but I wanted to make sure. I've even had it where I've let it set for over 24 hours. So anyway, I've taken the rubber bands off and the tape and whatnot. So you're going to have some overhang from the tip. And so basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to get the tip flush with the ferrule. Now, again, this doesn't have to be perfect, but this is just to trim some of the excess overhang with the, you do this by taking your rubber band, I'm sorry, uh, your razor blade and getting it flush with your ferrule and just trimming the sides of the tip, getting it flush as possible. So as you're taking off that part of the tip, you're turning it each time, and that helps trim it. Makes it a lot easier to for that side of the tip to come off. So I'm turning it slightly. Okay. Then once you do that, I picked up this thing again. You can get it online at one of the supply stores, or you can go to places like AliExpress and pick up. I picked up a bunch of these for like a little bit over $10. I think I picked up 10 for 10 or 11 for $10, where they were real cheap. But it looks like a pencil sharpener, but it's for your tip. It's a it's a tip trimming tool that's relatively cheap, and you just use it like a pencil sharpener. You put it in, you put your shaft in, and you just rotate it, and it trims off the excess tip and gets it more flush with the ferrule. And again, you want to take your time with this. You want to be real cautious with this. You don't want to be in a hurry. Just take your time. And if you mess up, like again, you can you can start over. But once you've done it a few times, you'll become a pro at it. It's really not that hard. So then you take your file and you want to shape your tip. Now, I do it a couple of ways. I take my file and I go at a 45-degree angle. That's one way. You turn it each time. And here I'm showing you where you can put your shaft on the ground, start at the top, and you just rotate it. And you see how the shaft goes down. So you can do it either way, but the faster way is to just keep going at a 45-degree angle and turning it each time. And then if you take off that top layer or the glossiness or whatever of your tip, so you can do it flat or perpendicular. And then when you want to shape it again, you just go back to start doing it at a 45-degree angle again. Again, turning it each time as you go across the top of the tip. So you see how I'm going at holding the file at a 45, and I'm turning the shaft, rotating the shaft each time I go across it. And then once your tip takes form, you could get some high. You can get some, like, I think I start off with like 1,000 grit sandpaper, and I just ran across it a few times just to seal some of the pores. And also sanding a little bit of the ferrule with the tip. So I think I used 3 different sandpaper. I started off with the 1,000, and then I went to the 1,500, and then I finished with the 2,000. But when you see someone do it on a lathe, they do the same thing. They have like a little strip of sandpaper, and they just go across it. But with the lathe, it just rotates real fast. So this is just a manual hand way to do it, to do what they were doing. So I must have saw a little bit of overhang, so I'm getting that final touch, final finish. So again, like I say, just take your time with it. There's one thing you don't want to do, and I've done it a couple of times. You don't want to go in when you're using this little pencil sharpener type of thing. You don't want it to go in so much at an angle, at an inward angle, and that way, what happens is your tip ends up looking like a cone. It has a cone shape, and it's not only doesn't look right, but it's also annoying to play with. It eventually, I've done it uh, in the past, uh, and then I played with it as well. But as the tip wore down, it evened out because I guess it mushroomed or whatever, and so it evened out the shape. But starting off, you don't want your tip looking like a cone. So be very careful when you use that tool. You don't want to have too much of an inward angle. So then the last finishing touch, you just add a little either saliva or get it wet and get some leather, rough burnish it, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.